Live television. Today we are privileged to be in the company of a young librarian, as a matter of fact, he's an entrepreneur. We'll be spotlighting some of the activities and the contribution to the growth and development of our country. You better introduce yourself. A pleasant good morning, sir, and welcome to Photos.
Thank you.
Okay. For the sake of it, viewers, can you introduce yourself?
Okay. My name is Tarwuo. I'm the president and CEO of Continental Contractors in Poure. This is a Liberian-owned construction company. Started our operations in 2007, and we were based in Singapore. 2011, we moved here on Somalia Drive, and we've been involved with the construction of roads, primarily lateral roads in the country. We are also involved in the rental of heavy-duty equipment to other mining and forest development companies.
What have been your challenges over the years? Close to 11 years now.
Actually, the challenges for my company is challenges are not far-fetched from other businesses alike. We are still facing cash flow problems. We are faced with problems in light of getting funding for our own, getting actual funding for our own companies to run effective operations. Our challenges have been mainly for us to compete with other multinational organizations like the bigger construction companies that are in the country. We are not. We cannot fit into their own facets because they are being funded hugely by their own governments and by their own, private financial institutions, but sourcing funding to get our fixed assets all together on the ground. These are just major things when it comes back to get even contracts, to be able to source contracts. Those are things that give us difficulties because the bars are set very high for us. And as a Liberian company that started from scratch, there are a lot of things, but it all boils down to the availability of cash flow when it comes to our own operations here in Liberia. And we are fighting it somehow. We are gradually growing. We hope that we will be able to catch up with the economy because in a true business sense, I think all of our companies or individuals, business owners, they should be able to grow in line with the standards that are set for the economy. As you see today, the government has been very helpful in setting its priorities straight when it comes to infrastructure. They were all bent on infrastructure development, especially when it comes to road connectivity. We hope to play a part in it. We know it's not going to be a one-year thing. If we don't even have it this year, that's why you see, if you look outside, we are trying to get some things ready now. We know that in the space of time, we should have our own say in it, and we hope that through these infrastructure developments that the country is actually purporting, and we know that they are also fostering the growth of Liberian businesses for Liberians to be able to take hold of the economy. So we're actually hoping that we will be able to beat these challenges and be able to step up and be a formidable force as compared to most of the foreign-owned construction companies alike.
Okay. What do you think are the cause of Liberian company not meeting up with their counterpart?
There are a lot of things that most of the causes. First of all, as I said earlier, it comes to the availability of funding. Investment banking is actually lacking in the country. What we have here today is commercial banking, wherein loans are given on a short-term basis, which are not for our own field. Because for us, we deal mostly with plant assets, and these are assets that are worth hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. And it requires long-term investment. So we don't have that kind of funding that's coming in. So that's why we are even urging or sending a clarion call to our government to be able to to actually infuse some capital within the banks, so that at least they will be involved in providing some investment funding for us to be able to build up our own fixed assets and planned assets alike. Secondly, there is a drawback when it comes to technical knowledge for us Liberians. In both civil works, in both the technical side, there's a drawback when it comes to technical knowledge. The technicians are falling short. There are not many technical vocational institutes anymore. Before the war, we had the Bombay Vocational Training Center, the Lamco Training Center, Firestone were doing training, the Tracker were doing training, but nowadays we have none of those. We have just the old boys that were operating from the 90s. Those are the ones that are training the younger people now in technical skills. When it comes to even the civil works, most of the civil works components of the work we do, we use our own graduates that come from universities here in Liberia, but it's not enough. We need especially technical skills that are real specialized in a lot of areas. So those are the things. So it's mainly about funding and building up the technical capacities for both the planned assets and on the civil work side.
Do you sometimes pre-finance?
Yeah, mostly. Most of the jobs these days are based on pre-financing, because most of the organizations, be it government-owned or multilateral, they actually ask the contractors to pre-finance the job, because they have this old adage that Liberian companies can finish work or can do work. So they ask you to at least pre-finance for a small percentage, maybe about 25, 30, 40%, you have to pre-finance it, which is a challenge, which takes off bulk of our own, margins. Because if you have to pre-finance a work that's about $1 million or so, you run into something between $200,000 and $300,000. How many Liberian companies have that kind of liquid cash to do that? So you have to go back to the bank for short-term commercial loans, and those loans carry up to 20-25% interest rates. At the end of the day, you look at it, and you just cut even your losses. Sometimes your margins are not even enough to be able to even rehabilitate your machinery again, or to even get new ones. So those are most of the things that you just talk about challenges. So those are the things that we're facing. But pre-financing is something that most of the organizations have adopted.
So sometimes do you feel disappointed doing business in Liberia?
We don't feel disappointed, because this is all we have, especially as a Liberian, and as young as we are, we always hope for the better. So we don't. For me as an entrepreneur and a businessman, it's not about being discouraged. It's just, I see everything as a challenge, to be able to work harder, to persevere. That's the most thing that counts. So it's not about getting discouraged. You get down at times, but for every downturn there's a level of encouragement that comes up. Well, we just hope that things get better, and we stand up to the challenges, even though our margins and our returns are a bit dismal and a bit small and things like that. But at least we're keeping our heads afloat. We are able to at least keep a small workforce, and the burden is still on the country, and that's why we actually pushing that that funding actually comes to this industry or to this investment, because we cannot even afford to have our staff fully employed anymore. We have to get staff based on a per contract basis, where you have a 6-month contract, you get your staff to come in for just a 6-month period, so you don't have anybody. Maybe we have about 3 or 4 persons just running the office on a day-to-day, but you get a contract 1 year, you're not going to get another contract again until another 2 or 3 years, and there's nothing to sustain your company going forward. So, and it takes a heavy burden on the country as a whole, because those guys will sit down again for the next year or so, and there's nothing. Sometimes we feel for the contractors, but there's nothing we can do, because we have to break even and get our own investment secured.
Per Liberian standard, you are fairly young man. Someone watching the interview again, what type of man are you? Are you people-centered? Do you relate to your co-workers?
Yes, I'm a very social person. I'm a people-centered person because I'm somebody who's a grassrooter because in fact I joined this company. Today I'm president and CEO of the company, but I did not start this company by myself. I took over the company and I started as one of the lowest ranked employees in this company in 2007. I started off as a contractor. Primarily I started as a bookkeeper, and then I raised to the level of a computer analyst, and then I raised to administrative assistant, I raised to special assistant, I went on to sales manager, I became finance administrative manager, I became general manager before I even became president of this company. So I started from the bottom, and to see myself, on top in a space of 11 years is something that's an encouragement for a lot of other young people that we were able to do the same thing. And I ran this company. I worked for it until today. I'm a shareholder. I'm a managing partner, and we believe that the Liberian mentality that things can be done because money is not there. We're trying to get those things off us, and we're sounding a call to many of the young Liberians that it is good to take advantage of the smaller things that are down there, and your own hard work, your own education, your own commitment, and your own social habits with people is able to at least take you to another level. And today, I'm a proud young Liberian that sit here today, even though things are not as they are supposed to be, but at least we thank God that at least we hold their respect, and we are an encouragement to a lot of other young people around.
Okay, finally, let me ask you the final question. Recently, there was a report published by UNDP that 67% of Liberian youth are into drugs. Is this information scary? Was it advice to the young people of Liberia?
Yes, it's a very scary, and part of my social responsibilities as a community because apart from my own work habits and from my own business portfolio, I also take a lot of interest into social welfare works in my own community, in where I live, and it's very scary. And this is not something that's new to us. It's something that we've noticed for the past 8 years running. We see that drug abuse is killing our society. We see that even on the female and youth side, there is a lot of development that has to be taking place. So it's scary, it's alarming, and we know that it's a responsibility of all of us. We have to work together to encourage our youth, to encourage especially the young men, to encourage people to be able to do something with their hands. And it's not everything doesn't come so easily. It's not, we work on a daily basis. In fact, just apart from my own business side, as you may know or may not know, just the past elections, I contested the past elections as a representative candidate on one of the party tickets, and this was something that even drew me close to even participating in elections a year ago. Was wanted to see youth development at the top of a country's agenda, because we know that where there is a strong youth in the country, we know that the country is going to succeed. And so we just call on everybody to let this be a collective responsibility, that we should be able to encourage our own people that tomorrow our nation will be great, and we can be able to look back and say that Liberia, we started from the bottom, but all of us are on top today. So thank you.
Yeah. Your final message, is there anything that you want me to say that I did not ask?
Final message to is just a call on my business side, my call to the government. As I just stated, we all are happy that this government has been proactive when it comes to infrastructure development, and it's all about roads. We only call on them to work with us business people. That everybody cannot work with government, everybody cannot be in government, but us that have taken the challenge to be in business, we actually urge our government, as they grow the economy, to be able to work with all Liberians, so that Liberians are able to grow with the economy. The economy should not leave us entrepreneurs behind. Because when there is a deficit, we know that there is a huge problem in the country. So as these infrastructure development projects are going on, we just appeal to the government that to get more Liberian companies involved with it. Even the smaller works, the bigger works, at least we're able to contribute our own quota. And tomorrow, the same big contracts that they call the Chinese companies for, the Japanese companies for, in the next 5 or 10 years time, who knows? A Liberian company is able to do it. And we see that, just for example, I think just on the Igbo map deal that just happened the other day, there is just a company that's from Burkina Faso. You have multinational companies in Burkina Faso, you have multinational companies in Sierra Leone, you have multinational construction companies in Senegal that have contracts in Liberia today. We can do the same today. It only starts with the government encouraging us and giving us the best benefits ever. So thank you.
Thank you very much. It was nice having you.